Last Crew make it possible on their military game. They may have not got so aggressive early on, but they still managed to get 8 kills alongside it, giving them 18 points in total. But those standings now, Cormac, are going to look crazy. And I'm very scared for certain teams. We spoke about Jokers and things started to look better for them. We spoke about ELGIGANTEN, who have now dropped 2 places. Oh no, ELGIG. That 0-point game is going to be at the back of your minds in this one, but if you are a true professional, if you want to continue to move forward, the best thing you can do is play the game in front of you and forget everything in the past.
Milky Way have gone down to 11th. Tempest have shot up to 12th overall. Last Crew have moved up to 7th. Mm-hmm. And ELGIG, you talked about it, they're only 4 points away from 13th place.
Just let me point this out a sec. PG18 and Unity, the 2 teams that changed players before we got to the final stage, they could be looking at a 1st and 2nd place. Like, how wild is that? I said PG18. I still said this, remember. We go back to the first day. I said, I have no worries about them qualifying. Like,
definitely.
This change made perfect sense. It was because one player on their team was not speaking the native language of everyone else, right?
Yep.
So now you have a full 4-man squad of doing it. But for Unity, I was quite critical because I was like, well, you don't have that excuse. You've just made a change. Like, you should just be sticking with your lineup until the end. They made the change. It's their choice. I can't complain about that. But it is now working out. It's just the first week and a half was like, oh, God, you guys are literally struggling. This is super shaky. I am scared. But what I'm also scared for is where these teams are going to go this time around. Milky Way, they're not going to opt for going down into South Georgia Pole. They're going to be heading up to Kameshki and Stalba. We've seen them split this multiple times. All our other teams should get to their usual spots, no problem. For ELGIGANTEN, I don't know what I need to see from... Oh, my God, okay, Unity have not gone nowhere. Unity have gone South Georgia. That's interesting. So luckily, Milky Way didn't opt for that as well.
I think that's why Milky Way did not for it, because in previous North plane trajectories, Uni have landed in South Georgia with Milky Way and ELGIG. So Milky Way choosing the calculated choice of going to where they're comfortable with and avoiding the early game action, as I think Hugstar from Airstation Mike might have had a small disconnection.
Yeah,
because he's dropped out late.
It's all right, he's in the zone though. You ain't going to complain about that, are you? He's like, imagine he just loads back in and he goes, boys, I made the right decision. You should have all done the same. What are you playing at? I'd definitely do that. I'd be the cocky one being like, yep. But he is also now surrounded by a lot of players. Unity down in the South Georgia Bowl, ELGIG up in North Georgia. My thing here for ELGIG, they've not done anything like this before, but maybe you just try and challenge some teams.
True, but the last time we had a Western-based circle, ELGIG won.
Okay.
Where they rotated down south. Now, of course, I don't know how the next couple of phases are going to go, how they're going to rotate, if they're going to go down south, more to the west, more to the east, etc., etc. But the last time we had it to the west, ELGIG won quite effectively. We also talk about the fact that it is going to be a little bit challenging for some of these teams on the east side of the map, because a lot of the teams drop down. So the likes of Tempest, BetterLuckNxTime, Airstation, Might, Tornado Energy, InsideGames, all those teams are going to have to, really choose quite carefully how they rotate into circle, because there's a lot of teams on the east edge kind of overlooking them.
Ooh, Hugstar actually. So Hugstar's completely disconnected by the looks of it.
That's what...
He just vanished. There's
Yeah.
still some 64 players alive. Why are you lying to me, Bucky? Well, maybe someone will be making that 63 very soon. Jazza under pressure from the BetterLuckNxTime players. He's managed to find Arctic. Goes straight in to flush him out. Nicely done. Little jumping shots with it as well. Now, do BetterLuckNxTime still try to push this? Because they don't have any other information about where the rest of the Airstation Mike players are, which means Jazza, they don't know that he's completely alone. Obviously, we can see this. And I love this. He's jumped out on the roof. He's waiting for them to push round. They're going to be looking for him from all different angles and directions. Whoever tries to go up first and challenge him, maybe getting a face full of lead from his guns. I like the way Kisik and Fate are trying this. They're checking all the rooms. They're going together. They're not just rushing it crazily. Faultlessly's also come into this. But Airstation Mike, they've not directly started to challenge just yet. You see Fate coming around the side. ToWzEra's just driven on over. But he doesn't want to drive on over to his death.
No.
Oh, no. Faultlessly's there. Shots made. Faultlessly, what are you doing? Spray, my dude, spray. He manages to land the headshot, but that could have got awkward. 20 health is all he has. ToWzEra's been taken out of the equation. Jazza is still in the other building waiting to find out what happens, and fEJK is around the edges. Hugstar is back in the game, though. He's appeared on our map screen. He's not moving just yet. And he's probably thinking, maybe I just don't move now. Like, what is going on? There we go, he's moved down south. Go, Hugstar, go. You wouldn't be able to save your teammates. You've got a long way to go. You probably die on the route there. So maybe you just hang it in as a solo player. I'm trying to look at the best thing for him to do
Of course.
This is so bad.
It would have been much better off if the circle had been far away from it, right? You know, it would have been much better off if he had landed and it had been an east side circle.
I seriously thought Faultlessly had fluffed that completely. Because he took the first three shots.
Right?
Then he saw ToWzErA jump out and was like, and then the spray. Oh, it was so touching.
And ToWzErA initially actually pulled out a good move of getting out the passenger side, which avoided a lot of shots that Faultlessly was popping in his direction. And then he did peak accurately, but that headshot got the better of ToWzErA in the end.
Now, fEJK having all this information is huge, because what he can do is try and guide Jazza around what's going on. Jazza's still in the building. He's locked in. fEJK not taking the shots just yet. Waiting for it. Oh, Faultlessly from the side finds him, though. He did not expect that one. Nade pinned and ready. And if he can just throw it up, it should barrel back down. Nicely done. fEJK's out of it as well. Airstation Mike, this is not the battle they wanted to take. Jazza took the first kill. It was looking good for them. But then the rush from BetterLuckNxTime. They were just there way before Airstation Mike could come in to help him out.
Did you see the Wanderer, I think, fell out of vehicles first, then got himself knocked down. ToWzERA will be able to get the kill and the point. fEJK goes down, leaving Jazza the only one in that area. Still two members of Airstation Mike, but we talked about it a little bit far apart from each other.
By the way, I love Hawkeye. I think he literally just rolled up on him, close range, and blew his brains out. Like he just did a close
respect much?
Yeah, he just walked straight up to him. You're dead. That's it. The headshot landed. Because I was thinking, did he just use a bolt for a one tap that close?
He did.
At least he didn't fist him. I'm always down for a bolt. Fisting, that can be a little bit crazy, a little bit disrespectful.
Depends on what you're into. Different strokes for different folks, James.
Well, I like a good old punch up, but not that kind. I'm down for a straight, fair, no gloves. You should be used to that, Irish boxing style.
Oh, of course.
Street
fighting. Well, not street fighting.
Jesus, we got on a whole... I was saying, like, in a ring, rules.
Nah, man. We do that after a night out, man.
Oh, that's just the normal day.
Yeah, of course.
There you go, guys. If you want to go to Ireland, be careful. There's people like Cormac running around.
Go to Temple Street in Dublin, you'll find out, mate.
This is why I try to avoid that side of the world.
Pretty much. But now, I'll tell you who is trying to avoid the side of ToWzERA. That is Recurrent from PG18. Ubica is a little bit further away from him in that compound. Might be able to find a better angle.
3D Max.
Yeah.
Oh.
They do this a couple of times.
Well, ELGIG got themselves on top of Everest, and compared to some of the other teams that have taken control of Everest and struggled, they're actually getting some kills up on there. Jazza finally found Kissick. This is just a waiting game. Who could outlast who in hanging around in this building? And BetterLuckNxTime, they're coming out completely on top. Now, for BetterLuckNxTime, they're probably thinking, wait a second, where on earth is the final Airstation Merc player? Well, he's down towards the southwest of Hospital. He's completely on his own. He lagged out, but he is inside the circle. There's a silver lining to every bad situation. If there is ever is one in PUBG, that's it for Hugstar right now.
If you end up winning this, honestly, like... I kind of hope he does now. It would be some story, some game that we've had, but we already have
kids in like 40 years' time. I was a part of one of the greatest solo PUBG plays ever.
Back in my day.
Back when you still had a mouse and keyboard. Before all this VR and augmentation and cyborgism all took place.
Oh, man.
Now, for BetterLuckNxTime, we said about him struggling to even be within good amount of points to have a chance. But you had a win yesterday. You had kills in the game previously, and then you did go out a bit earlier. fEJK just tried to hang on as a solo player in that building on military base. But now, again, you've started off with 3 kills. They lost 0 players from that as well?
No,
they lost one player,
one
Artix,
player.
at the beginning. That was it. That was the Jazza's 1 kill he was able to achieve. But this isn't a bad spot once again. You're one of the last teams coming into the circle. You've seen what's else gone in front of you. You watched InsideGames just go past you. You're going to be pretty confident going forward.
And we are seeing similar rotations as we'd seen in the previous game that we had in where the circle ended in this area. Now we do see TAB trying to connect onto the side of Milky Way. Jokers had an issue in the last time where they just kind of rotated too much to the coastline and got caught out by the likes of ELGIG. But now they've occupied down the South George crates in the warehouse, being a little bit safer as Milky Way are rotating in.
But I really like what we just saw there from Joker's set. Is he was looking up, he was shooting from the building at Milky Way, rotating across, but then had a quick peek up to make sure that the ELGIG players weren't going to be challenging him from Everest. And you can never forget about that because those guys will see you from a mile off.
Now Team Oops.
Ooh, again.
Wow.
They are starting off today strong. I'm going to give them that. Things have looked a lot better than what we've seen of all of last week from Moops.
Well, this was the compound that Airstation Mike won on previously. It's not the same compound that they held on to where they came in second place previously, but it is a very strong place to hold on to. You do have Northern Lights to the east, and the phase 2 has centered up. It's gone majority away from this water, so it is going to be similar to what we've seen previously. And you look at it, all the teams are inside the circle.
Apart from BetterLuckNxTime.
Oh my God, BetterLuckNxTime. Damn it, like, will you just get in there so it don't sound so stupid?
They're chilling. Remember, we said this. They're the last team in. They've had a good start to the day. They're not complaining right now. They're getting kills. And they don't just want to go out to their death just yet. They're trying to hold on, trying to hold strong. And the problem with this side of the map as well is what you're seeing in front of you. Lots of open area, a few compounds in there as well, but a lot of flat terrain where you can just see people for quite some distance. You see 6 times and 8 times come into full use, and lots of crazy kills start to happen because the moment you begin to try and move or rotate, if you get cut off, then you're like, okay, smokes only provide so much. If I want to try and get through my vehicle, there's a risk of being blown up. Many things to think about when it comes to that.
Like, you've got Gaka area, which is taken by PG-18. 3-man PG-18, I might add. 1 member got taken down. But you've got the fields outside of Gaka, which nobody wants to go near, so that is a bit of a dead area. You've also got the fields to the southeast of where Northern Lights hold on to, although Quickmath are down below that, as well as Tempest, who they're close to each other. ELGIG, they hold on top of Everest. Can they be as dominant as we've seen them previously in this position? They push back so many teams around, and we saw them make their way down south. But instead of Team Moops, you've got Northern Lights in that south, that southerly compound that could put pressure onto ELGIG.
Now, a team that did not have a good showing in the previous game was 3D Max. 0 points for those guys. This time around, they've lost a player early on. That of Furex. He seemed to kill himself in a car. We don't know exactly what went on or why it happened. Probably was under pressure, a lot of shots coming his way, and then just lost control.
Yeah.
But the thing for 3D Max is, yes, they're in a great spot. They don't have to worry too much, but they still need to make the most of these games because there's so many teams that are battling to just take more and more spots from them.
I think for the teams like PG-18 and 3D Max, the mindset has to be preparing your mindset to put pressure on the teams when it comes to a promotional phase for PL. So you want to go into that promotional phase with as many points, with as much of a mentality of it to be a threat to those teams to take those spots. And that's where I think the likes of PG-18 and 3D Max, yes, they might have definitely have qualified, but you want to make the teams around you as scared as possible of you.
They might have definitely qualified. No, 2 of them have definitely qualified.
Yeah, okay. Look, you know what?
You're trying to make sure if the madness does happen, we don't sound stupid. I will happily say it for us.
Okay,
PG-18, Unity, and 3D Max definitely qualified. These guys are living the dream. But to go with what you were saying, they should all be using this as mad practice. Even if they want to change things up, use this as a good way to change practice style.
That's true.
You want to try a new way of rotating, a new way of playing, a different dynamic for your team, this is your time to do it.
Yeah, I think it's very important for those kind of teams to work on your individual development, focus on different areas of the map.
Well, especially because you got to look at some of these teams. They do play practice games against the teams in main PEL, but practice is very different to official games like this. So you need to make the most of every opportunity you have to improve, to work on what you've got, and continue to make the magic happen as your team.
I do like the rotation from Tempest. They're going outside the circle, shifting down the southeast area. We did see on this phase 3 is centered up quite nicely. Still, the Everest is occupied by ELGIG. You have PG18 and GAKA. You have Unity to the west of them. You have Tornado Energy to the south of them. InsideGames and 3D Max, they're down the southwesterly side of this circle, very close to each other. You have that one remaining member of Airstation, Mike, staying very quiet, but YMCA are definitely close to the north area of them.
You know when we get a camera angle like this, I always just imagine The Great Escape. Just makes me think of that. Just need them all on bikes.
For me, not so much in Erangel, but definitely in Miramar. When I see that kind of camera angle and the vehicles driving through, I always think of Mad Max.
Definitely Mad Max from Miramar, yeah. All right, so we got Great Escape Erangel and Mad Max Miramar. Guys, anyone got something for...
Miramar. I like that, Mad Max Miramar.
See, there we go. Guys, you got anything for the other maps for us? Just tweet at us, let us know. We're always down for some more. Because during these parts where there's literally nothing happening, we're just watching teams camp it up a little bit, wait for some kills to potentially come in. And PEL's just going to at least get a knock. The headshots landed. Set needs to provide that cover fire. Tab avoiding more damage being done. Now, I love this position by Chopsticks that these guys play, right? You can see Quick Math here. They can play this so well. The problem is, it's depending on how lucky they get with a circle, it's likely to be excluded. But it gives you so many options. Just pop up, completely change position, and pop back up in a different location. Get a different angle to take a fight with.
We saw Tempest, as I talked about, they went down in the same direction as Jokers before them, but they've gone much further. The circle has shifted down south, so ELGIG, they're going to have to make their way down from Everest. You've got Team Oops are going to have to move their way down, which is going to be tough. So we're seeing a much different circle now. And look at the fields on that northwesterly direction. Nobody wants to go near that. So a big chunk of this circle is out of the question. Hell, even where Tornado Energy are, you have the kind of the flat fields outside from them. So it's very tough for these remaining 16 teams and 55 players.
Now, you made the point about Tempest there, but Unity and Moops are going to be having a back-and-forth battle. Double looking for cover. Snoopy's finding nades, knocking him and a Nuctive down. Moops get eliminated. Unity deal the damage, but Unity are a bit worse for wears. Can Quizzy get a smoke down in time and bring both of them players up? He knows there's more shots coming in. The smokes are being provided by Orange. If they can keep 4 alive, that's going to be huge. But Solar, he's looking to do some damage for 3D Max this time around. It's only him and Phantom left. You spoke about Tempest. They had a great rotation, and their rotation even benefited them to come all the way down the south and now closer to this new circle. But can they make it work? 3D Max are giving them a really hard time.
I'll tell you what, that's going to be tough as Solar is just going to throw out those smoke grenades, trying to protect himself. We do have Jokers connecting onto BetterLuckNxTime. What it looked initially tough for Jokers, where they were facing pressure from QuickMap, has definitely gone in their favor.
Solo.
Oh, no.
Burn, baby, burn. He's managed to escape it. He's done well. He's survived to a degree. Trying to med himself up. If Hanny wants to try and push this would be the time to do it. But little does he know, Solar is instantly getting himself medded back up. Pre-fires the angle, but it's still not good enough. Hjort ready and waiting. Damage done, kills done, and 3D Max with only 1 player left alive as QuickMath are now coming in to BetterLuckNxTime. Faultlessly's all on his own. Drops the first aid kit, but you're more than outnumbered here, my man. And then Silenzo will secure it with the grenade.
Then you also have Jokers there, so can Jokers pick up the pieces? And Silenzo is going to be taken down, although he connects onto the boom. Juicic is taken down. 3D Max do get eliminated in 14th place. As the battle rages on between these two teams, QuickMath, they took down BetterLuckNxTime. They've taken down Jokers. They need all the points. Give them 4 points. They'll move on into the circle. Great play by them.
What a way for that to go down. QuickMath, they heard the shots, they saw what was going on, and they took it as a full team. They allowed some of the kills to come in, but then caught everyone else by surprise. And again, 3D Max, maybe got a couple of kills in there, but a low placement coming out in 14th place for those guys.
See, I told you, it's, you say they're definitely qualified?
Someone clip this so I can use it against this idiot over and over again.
Playing devil's advocate, man. Playing devil's advocate. Okay. Hey, just being that kind of asshole. Now we have two teams in GAKA, Northern Lights and PG18. Northern Lights do have the man advantage, so it's 4 against 3. I expect grenades to start flying out from both teams in that direction. I assume of Milky Way connected onto one member of Last Crew. They're up in the north west side. As I said, those fields are definitely not an area you want to be onto, but you have that little hill just on top of it that can provide a bit of a nice spot, but when you have teams all around you firing, it's not easy.
One thing that certainly wasn't easy was Unity to walk away with 4 players still alive after that fight they had. They had at one point 2 players knocked down and 1 very low on health. They still managed to make it happen. This new circle, we're going for another hard shift, this time over towards the east. Hugstar! What? Oh no, Clib, you never expected that, not in a million years. Hugstar looking to reposition himself. Gets himself a nade ready. Doesn't want to throw it out just yet. Hugstar. He's achieved at least more than what his team were able to do, which is kills. Jazza had the 1. He's trying to play it smart here, Hugstar. Using the smart. Oh, that's beautiful. He knew where Hanny was. Good effort from Hugstar. It wasn't meant to be. Hanny does end up winning that one out, but I fully respect it. He really tried. He made a good go of it.
He could have played a little bit safer and jumped out the window, but you're never really certain. He would have heard the footsteps and known somebody was there, and I think he overall made the right choice. It just didn't work out in his favor. We do see Tornado Energy. They have a compound in the center of the circle, James. You have PG18 and Northern Lights still in those compounds inside GAKA, which is also in the circle, and Unity are to the west of them. So those 4 teams looking very good in the circle.
MOOPHEUS went out in 16th or 15th?
16th.
16th place. And they had that good compound as well. The moment they had to move from it, that just got whittled away from them. I was just looking at the map and I'm like, wait a second, they definitely went out. They didn't even have 1 player left alive. And who might run out of players that are going to stay alive? Could be Milky Way at this point. Last Crew are back at it again. The winners of the previous game. Some nades coming out towards them, but it's not going to get close enough. As Tempest now fallen, and it's YMCA to deal the damage. Tempest still, again, one of those other teams looking to grab as many points as possible and jump their way up. But games like this will not make it easy. Now, Mans is out in the open, which, okay, you want to try and challenge Last Crew. You've got your teammate next to you. But you need to be oh so careful because you're playing a 2v3 here and Rip's the one further away. He can play the back lines there and provide the cover fire for his teammates. But it's the moment they see him over this hill. How does Mans and DP decide to react? Nade's going to be used. Will it connect? This could be from the side. It could work out quite nicely. Mucky tries to run away. Jappy does manage to escape. No finish off coming in just yet, but more nades going to be used. Mans looks like he's going to get that one on the money as well. Damage to be done. The kill comes in. And Milky Way, they're not done yet.
Now it's 2 on 2. You have Jappy. You have Rip trying to find Mans and DP, but they've got to be careful because you got ELGIG to the east of them. You got Unity to the south. And even YMCA, who took down Tempest there on the west side of the circle. That's why none of these teams are going for the full engagement. They're just being very careful, holding down, prone down, using the dips in that field to their advantage.
That's literally all they've got to use their advantage. Last Crew have got the hell out of there and found their way into the circle as the circle continues to move further and further away. But Tornado, they're going to be very happy with their position as of now. And the question is, can they get some kills? We can see on the screen they're just laser shooting out at any teams close by. And the benefit of the compound they do have, as you can see, they've got good vision across the board. There's Deep. He's got some ELGIG players near him. He's looking for some cover, looking to hide himself down here.
3 teams in GAKA. 3 teams in GAKA.
That was huge. Luckily, that nade didn't connect for the ELGIG players, but Deep, he was trying to play a sneaky one, throwing it through the window.
It's crazy. You've got 3 teams in GAKA, PG18, ELGIG, and Northern Lights. ELGIG rotating, trying to push on into the members of Northern Lights. ghostar is around the side of that building. They've got to be very aware because PG18 could third-party this.
GAKA is flooded with players. But who is going to be able to escape? KnorkiS is still yet to join up with the other ELGIG players. They do have him there, so they are strong. But they're going to need him if they want to challenge this. There's 3 Northern Lights players, a couple of PG18 players, and ELGIG don't actually have a house to fight from just yet. It's a waiting game. Who's going to make the mistake first? There's more kills, more shots happening down on the mini screen. It's YMCA getting under pressure, as Mans is the only player left for Milky Way, and Last Crew are still hanging around the same area. They're all playing off this ridge line. And the shots and the kills keep coming in, and Unity are also just taking shots from the side at them. They're like, oh, you guys going to fight out in the open? Yeah, no problem.
Uni push forward. YMCA push forward from the west side. They put pressure onto both Last Crew and Milky Way. They do have a little bit of protection against the side of Unity, but Unity are definitely aware. They threw the grenades out there, put pressure onto a couple of these teams. We have lost Milky Way. Last Crew are still in it, but are in the blue zone. It's phase 6. It's going to do a chunk of damage. I imagine he will go out. Now YMCA, they're trying to push forward, using those smokes. They got to get across the road. The compound that Uni holds onto is just inside the circle, but the knockdown comes down onto Zampeek and can't connect onto YMCA and put them under even more pressure, even take away that kill. He actually did get a point for his side before getting eliminated in 9th place. Nice kind of awareness.
Honestly, at the moment, people are just flooding kills over towards Unity. They have just been tapping away everyone that gets close. But somehow, some way, ghostar has snuck up. Now, are they aware of this? We've only just come to look at how he's approached it. He's been quiet. He's trying to be stealthy. Unity are then going to have part of their compound cut off, but ghostar could be a real surprise factor in this. The battle's also still going on between ELGIG, Northern Lights, and PG18, and Northern Lights are looking to get some more kills on the board. ELGIGANTEN's still struggling here. ghostar doesn't have much health. He can med himself up, but he knows the Unity players can strike at any time, so he has to be oh so careful, and he'll be able to soon hear. First aid kit's going to be the timing! He's like, okay, now's the time. I might be safe. Nope, Tornado can see you.
Oh man, we got 16 left and 3 of them are in Gorka outside the circle. MOORPHEUS, ghostar should I say, connects onto Spiro with that grenade. MOORPHEUS providing cover shots. PG18, they're staying fairly quiet. Rekrint did get knocked down by his own Molotov, but I believe got revived up. You also have Quickmath down the south side. They could be the thorn in the side for Tornado Energy if Tornado Energy aren't too aware and are more focused on the teams up in the north.
The thing is, if Tornado lose this game, then they've made massive blunders on how they've approached these fights. Because they've been able to see everything. They know exactly where most of the teams are. The only team they might not know where it is YMCA. As ghostar here, doing some damage against the PGA team players. ELGIG aren't done yet. Rekrent is on the hunt to try and avenge his teammate, but Northern Lights now making their way across. There's plenty of smokes down, but ghostar's just spraying through it. Manages to connect a good few shots there, but isn't able to get any additional knocks in.
Fair play to Tornado Energy. They are covering all angles because they've gotten one knockdown onto a member of Quickmath. Very nice play by them. And you've also seen them connect onto Unity. So as a 4-man team in the center of the circle, they're getting the work done. I'll tell you who's also getting the work done. That's also a couple of these teams outside Gorka, as ELGIG do get taken down in 6th place. PG18 are also eliminated in 5th place, putting themselves down. We've got 4 teams, 12 players left.
And Tornado up at 8 kills, 4 players still alive, and tons of utility because they haven't had to move. But what I love here is they got aggressive when there were still 8 teams remaining, which is why they're continuing to pick up more kills. Aaliyah was doing damage from far away and continues to do it, now knocking down Quizzy. Unity have nowhere to go. There's just no cover here. You've got to find yourself a little dip to hide behind, but it is so hard because Tornado have all the positional advantages here.
You're out in the open, my friend. It's not looking too good for Unity. They do have that little bit of dip. Quickmath go out in 4th place. They had that south side, but once again, it was out in the open and it was so tough for them. Yes, they were on their own, but Tornado Energy, they had their angles covered very nicely. Northern Lights, they are the team to survive in Gorka compared to PG18 and ELGIG. They could put in the work onto Tornado Energy.
That was a huge risk, but it paid off from Aaliyah there.
Yeah.
He pushed out. He knew it was a gamble, wanted to throw the nades over, and look, Compot's now going to do it as well. This could be the end for Unity. The nade comes out, it's getting very close, and it does so much damage. Then the shots come in, Aaliyah finishes them off, and that is just beautiful. Unity are down, and Tornado, they are going to win this in style. No one has a chance. They've got a great compound here. They're just spraying through. They've got so much utility, and there's more nades now coming out to Northern Lights. It's continuing just absolute destruction, and a 15-kill win for Tornado gives us a 25-point game.
I know I'm not a huge fan of the nade meta, but when you see those shots come out, that's when you know it works.
Yeah.
That was easily, those are 2 of the best nades we've seen in the whole of Phase 3. I'm going to put it out there. So accurately done by Tornado Energy. You talked about how risky it was to be forward outside that compound, but when you're as accurate as you were, as fluid as you are, and you know you have control of that final couple of circles. Man, Tornado Energy got the job done on both Unity and Northern Lights, and hell, every single other team around them in the last 10-15 minutes.
Tornado, that was the way to get it done. What a big, impactful win there. Not only is it 25 points in total, but you are living the dream right now because they are points you desperately needed.
Man, it's also taking so many points away from the likes of Northern Lights, who need all the points that they can get. Yes, they finished second, but they only got 3 kills. Unity had a really solid game, and it is going to help their cause to maybe get into the top 3. Because 3D Max, they didn't look too strong in this second game of the day.
There were so many little moments in this game that were interesting, just how solo players were doing it. The fact that Hugstar managed to actually achieve a total of 12th place for Airstation Mike, despite them losing 3 players and could have been the first team eliminated. And he even got a kill. There we go. See? Just an extra. Every little point matters, especially for Airstation Mike, who do need to start having some good games coming in there.
The fact that we had 3 teams in Gatka in the last couple of phases, and Northern Lights, credit where credit is due, they did survive it. They did take a lot of hurt towards the end where they used a lot of their utility. It did stop them pushing forward as early as they would have liked to have to get into those last couple of circles. But at the end of the day, to survive against the likes of PG18 and ELGIG is definitely good work from them.
Now, I'm going to say as well for Tornado, they played it so well and when they came out to attack, which is why they were able to get 15 kills. Yes, their compound helps them massively, and because the terrain is the way it is, they had full control. Remember, they could see everyone. I mean, when it got down to that phase 5 circle, they could see everyone in the north, south, west, and there was just no problem for them at all. QuickMath tried to sneak up behind them. They were seen straight away. And the benefit that they had there for Tornado was you had more utility than anyone else, and you didn't even need to go pick up stuff from the dead bodies because you hadn't used it early on, which is why you saw, yes, they took the risk to push out, but they only did the pushing out and throwing the grenades down when they'd knocked a couple of players, knowing that the other teams would be either trying to revive or trying to give themselves a bit more time. So this was the time to strike. And if anyone's looking at that, you think, oh, well, they're just lucky they threw the grenades out in the right direction. No, this was planned. This was timed because you know, oh, we got the knocks in, but we can't finish them off yet. We can spray through the smoke and hope we get lucky, like does happen. We've just seen it there. But it's that nade on top of it, which is just the icing on the cake.
Man, what great teamwork from Tornado Energy. No teams getting 0 points in this second game. Much different compared to first game where we saw 5 teams getting 0 points. 3D Max ending in 16th place with 1 point. Team Moves with 2 points. Multiple teams, 5 teams getting 2 points.
Yeah, very actually evenly spread on the bottom end of it. And 3D Max, again, it doesn't really matter for them just getting 1 point. It's still just an additional point to their overall total. But it's Tornado that came in just way above anyone else. Unity did very well, all things considered. Getting 11 points out of that one's just going to add to their total. I think that'll move them into second place now as well, because 3D Max only got 1 point.
I think it will. I definitely think it will. I do want to point out and give a lot of credit to YMCA. They held the west side of that circle, and they were definitely more aggressive towards the end, where they got the better of Milky Way. They pushed and got a couple of kills onto Last Crew, and that's much better work from them. They normally play quite passive. Yes, they can be aggressive when they need to be, and that's when they needed to be, and it gave them a nice chunk of points.
Now, a lot of damage being done by Aaliyah there. The grenades will certainly help with that, but he was also taking long-range shots at distance, finding players as they were trying to make their way out of the zones. And the problem where we had in Gatka, where there were so many teams from that direction, it just made it even easier for Tornado to play shooting barrel. It was like, oh, what are we? We're doing shooting practice today. Yep, no problem. Because every time you saw it there for YMCA, Kajuti was like, I've got time. It's safe. I'll heal. Dead. One shot. Aaliyah just waiting. And that's the problem. You cannot have all those angles covered.
And it was even just the accuracy of, because as you mentioned, like QuickMath, they held that south, and I was wondering, like, are Tornado Energy holding all the angles? Because there's so many teams in north direction, are they really aware? And they were in the second, they were. They put pressure on the QuickMath, but this is the head-to-head. There's no, like, credit to Unity, 1900 damage, 6 kills, getting that third place, and 11 points in total, but it's not really comparable to Tornado Energy.
But the thing you have to note as well, for Tornado, they didn't have to move anywhere near as much.
True.
Where Unity, they spent the whole game moving, fighting. They weren't even fighting from compounds apart. They were just out there in the open taking fights.
Man, and then Aaliyah getting 6 kills, 5 knocks. So that return from 5 to 6, 800 damage individually. He did absolutely amazingly, but then as a whole team, Tornado Energy working fluidly, like that kind of grenade by combat, and then the secondary fire from Elia, that just showed how well they were, how well they communicated throughout the whole game.
Well, that is Erangel over and done with, at least for today. But we're going over to the rocky roads of Mad Max Miramar next. So stick with us. Don't go anywhere. We'll be coming right back.